Hello, welcome. My name is William Sabule. Today it's Wednesday, the 23rd day of March 2022, and we're back with the newspaper headlines across Nigeria. If you're just seeing this video for the first time, do well to subscribe to this page and, of course, click on your notification key. That will help you get notified whenever we come online. We're also on other social media platforms. We're on Facebook as Thav TV. On Instagram is ThavTV_NG, and on Twitter it's at Thav TV. So do well to follow us on all of these platforms so you get to participate by dropping your comments on the comment section and, of course, your reactions too. For today, Wednesday, let's go and see what the headlines look like. We'll be right back after this break. Thank you for staying with us. We begin the newspaper headlines on this day newspaper for today, the 23rd day of March 2022. And the major headlines here on this day newspaper reads, Buhari, Nigeria's huge dependency on imported agricultural products to end soon. Inaugurates $2.5 billion Dangote Fertilizer plant, new airport terminal, inspects Lekki deep sea port, assures Nigerians of self-sufficiency in food production, increased forex. All right, other headlines on this day newspaper, we see Soludo will get water out of stone with Anambra people behind us. Reveals state has about 109 billion naira debt, 300 million naira cash. Says altercation between Bianca Obiano's wife, comic relief. At the top part of that paper, we see here NUPRC, that is the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, sets up investigative panel to tackle rising oil theft. Okay, so do well to pick up this day newspaper. That's where you get details of those headlines. Moving on, we go to Nigerian Tribune. And on Nigerian Tribune, we see here as the major headline, Southern APC Convention, Southern delegates set to stop Adamu. Southern delegates set to stop Adamu as Southwest governors tighten nose around Buhari's candidate. Intense battle for youth leader as Northern supporters of Israel, Dada flex muzzles. All of that you'll find on page 5 of the Nigerian Tribune. Other headlines here on Nigerian Tribune, we see here, at inauguration of Dangote's $2.5 billion fertilizer plant, excuse me, Nigeria's dependency on imported products to end soon. Buhari directs speedy completion of Lekki deep sea port. Railway link to harbour. Inaugurates Lagos airport terminal building. All of that you find on page 6 of the Nigerian Tribune. Other stories here, we see NBA, Justice Ayedike's judgment nullifying Section 84, Subsection 12 of Electoral Act. Defection, Cross River governor to no fate, Friday, as security men barricade assembly complex. That story you find on page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune. And then still on the Nigerian Tribune, you see Southwest, PDP insists South should produce next president. So do well to pick up a copy of the Nigerian Tribune to get details of those stories. Next, we go to the Daily Sun newspaper. And on the top part of that paper, we see Obiano left 400 million naira cash, over 100 billion naira debts, Soludo. And you find that on page 6 of the Daily Sun newspaper. Other stories on the Daily Sun, we see fireworks. That's the major headline. It says fireworks at Senate over court judgment on Electoral Act. Debate deferred to today. NBA begins probe, calls for caution, decorum. You find that story on page 28 of the Daily Sun newspaper. And we also see on the Daily Sun, federal government declares war on oil thieves, sets up panel to probe activities. That story is on page 2 of the Daily Sun newspaper. So do well to pick up. Airport commission to be completed in fourth quarter 2022. Federal government. Buhari inaugurates 2.5 billion naira, $2.5 billion Dangote fertilizer plant. You find that story on page 3 and 28 of the Daily Sun newspaper. Moving on, we go to the Punch newspaper. And on the Punch newspaper, we see, as the major headline here, massive job cuts looms. Dollar hits 590 naira as forex scarcity bites harder. We buy over 90% of forex from BDCs. Job losses likely, lament manufacturers. Banks limit online transaction to $20 per month. Travelers, others patronize BDCs. So all of that story you find on page 21 of the Punch newspapers. Other stories on the Punch newspaper, we see Northern oil theft. Federal government probes firms over production output. Others. Power Ministry lists obstacles. Reps decry excuses for blackout. All right, next we go to Nigerian News Direct for today, the 23rd day of March 2022. And the major headline here on Nigerian News Direct is Buhari vows to improve security. Power commends Dangote on $2.5 billion fertilizer plant. Says nation set to witness agric boom. That story is on page 2 of Nigerian News Direct. Other stories here on Nigerian News Direct, we see aviation. Buhari inaugurates new international terminal at Lagos Airport 43 years after establishment. 2023 presidential slot. Tambowal, Southwest PDP zonal caucus, bicker over zoning. And then other stories here, we see FAAC, federal government, states, LG's share 695 billion naira for February. Oil theft, sabotage, federal government commences probe of upstream operators. All right, so you find details of all of that story on Nigerian News Direct and all the other papers we read out to you this very fine Wednesday. All right, next on the program is our discussion segment. Stay tuned. But don't forget that you can also participate in these conversations by dropping your comments and your reactions on the comment section on all our social media platforms. We'll be right back after this short break.
Have you registered for your permanent voter's card? I mean, your PVC. There is a Nigeria we all seek, a place where love, peace, security, and unity can reign supreme.
Waste no time. We want a country where peace and justice will be the order of the day.
Unfortunately, there's a problem. One big challenge this generation has to solve.
Our country cries for help every day. We need able and capable hands to lead and direct.
These capable hands can be you. Have you gotten your PVC? Have you registered for the ongoing voting process? Don't say your vote does not count. Yes, it does.
Have you gotten your PVC? Your apathy towards Nigeria's electioneering process will further inhibit our collective growth and development as a nation. Your refusal to participate and engage will keep us at a standstill. So be intentional.
I have my PVC. Your votes, your voice would go a long way in preventing absolute destruction of this country and the future of our children, the hope of tomorrow.
The 2023 Nigerian elections are just around the corner. Go out and get heard. Don't forget, your vote, your voice. This message is proudly brought to you by Thav Media Limited. Thank you very much for staying with us up to this time. Now is our conversation segment where we get to talk about the headlines I read out to you earlier. And I've been joined by Mr. Victor Bayode, my commentator for today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for making it here. All right, let's go to the headlines. There's this headlines that has, prevailed on most of the newspapers we read out today, which is the opening of Dangote's fertilizer plant in Lagos, worth over $2.5 billion. That's a lot. That's a huge sum of money invested in such a great project. And we know that this project is going to benefit not just Lagos State, Nigeria at large in terms of the agricultural sector. How do you react to that story?
Okay, first of all, I would say good luck to Lagos and good luck to Nigeria as a whole, because this development is one that is really going to, attract investors from outside the country and also investors from within. I would also say, okay, it is also really going to enhance the economy of Lagos State. Lagos State economy is a very good one, but this development, being planted in Lagos, so it's really going to do a lot for Lagos as well. So, and as regards employment opportunities, this is a big one for Lagosians and the Lagos citizens, and Nigerians from other parts of the world that who like to make their way down to Lagos and then for jobs, because this development is one that will provide job to masses. Yeah. So it's a good one, and congratulations to Dangote. Congratulations to Lagos State.
Yeah, and we should also commend the federal government for giving them the opportunity to invest in such a huge capital project that's going to touch a lot of lives in Nigeria in terms of job opportunities, and also boost our agricultural sector. You know, in one of the headlines, I see the president saying that that the youth should be ready, that you know, our agricultural sector is set to boom, and he's really right about that. This is one good news in a very long time.
Just to be a little bit comic, sorry to cut you short, just to be a little bit comic about this, you know, when our president started his tenure, I think he told the youth to go back to the farm. I think this is his way. This is the way he wants to redirect them. So you guys go and, you know, find your cutlass and hoe.
Yes, and get back to the farm. Yes, that's a good one. And of course, plus the investments, the investors that this is going to attract. It's a very good one from this administration. And kudos to them. Okay, moving on, we go to Anambra State. Anambra is on the news again, and the current governor, the newly sworn-in governor, that's Professor Charles Soludo, is crying, shouting out to the whole world that the state has been left with huge debts with no money in the account. How do you react to that? Okay,
that is actually, I would say the former governor failed. Let me just say, I don't want to say it failed completely, but let me just say failed in his administration by actually having that much debt.
Over 100 billion naira.
You know, having so much debt of 100 billion naira, and then looking at their treasury, like leaving their treasury with just 300 million naira. What is that? Like a whole state having just 300 million naira in their treasury. Like, that's like an amount an ordinary, you know, rich man can have in his account. And, you know, like, this is actually just very funny. This is very funny because leaders like this are meant to, you know, they are meant to be, you know, questioned about, like, how did you manage
He's already in EFCC net, and I don't think they are letting him go anytime soon.
Yes, they are to be brought to bar. And Anambra State is a state that is lean on resources to generate funds for, because I read this morning that Professor Soludo was like, okay, the state doesn't have, you know, a lot to generate from, doesn't have much resources to generate funds from. So, like, you know, like, but he promised the people that he's going to try as much as possible to, you know, to improve the well-being of the state, and then make sure that the citizens enjoy the dividends of democracy. But you know, on this, I like the way he's actually questioning the former governor about how he actually went about the finance of the state. Like, I don't understand. Well, it is so funny. It is so funny, actually. Because 100 billion naira.
Yeah, that's a huge debt on any state.
On any state.
Just like you rightly said, for a state that doesn't have
resources,
you know, maybe natural resources, but of course we know that their revenue is based on their, you know, markets. Like, they have more markets there, like the Onitsha market and all of that. So with that, we want to hope that they'll be able to generate funds, tax that will help them recover from these huge debts, you know. Moving on, let's go to police story. We saw on New Telegraph newspaper, it says, proposed police strike. IGP orders immediate payment of salary increase, you know, appeals to officers to shelve planned strike, commends cops. He appeals to officers to shelve, you know, the rumored strike. Is it really true that they were going to go on a strike?
You know, like, when that news came up at first, myself, I was like, okay, I think this should be a rumor. Because how can the police come out and say they want to go on strike with the level of insecurity that is going on in this country? Like, if the police go on strike,
will take over the whole country.
Who will be watching over, you know, the citizens and everyone, and, you know, make sure that there's security in the country. Now, our president, you know, mentioned that, okay, he's promising that just promised that the level of insecurity in the country is going to go down, and then it's going to try as much as possible to do something as regards, the insecurity issue we are going. Look at, for example, what just happened. I think that was yesterday in Kaduna.
In Kaduna State, where it was reported that over 34 persons were confirmed.
And then over
killed.
200 houses were burned. So, and now the police are then coming telling us they want to go on strike. No, that's I'll plead to the federal government to do everything possible to, listen to the cry of these people, to do what, to answer their demands.
That was, the main reason for the protest during the EdSARS, where a lot of Nigerian youths came out to the street to say federal government should improve the welfare of police people.
Yeah.
And they in turn promised that, okay, they are going to increase their salary. And from that time till now, these salary increments have not been implemented.
Yes.
And also there have been delays in the payment of the salaries of these people that go out every day to risk their life, every single night and day to risk their life to ensure that this country is in peace, and then, of course, people's life and property are secured. But here we are, these same people coming out to say, oh, we've been neglected and we want to down tools. Downing tools mean that we've been left, or will be left to the hands of criminals and all these terrorists that are every day trying to get a hold of this country.
Yeah.
And
it's actually dangerous.
The new IGP is now begging the federal government that they should pay that new salary, the salary increment that they promised to, and this month they should pay it on time so that these men will not go strike.
It is very important.
Yeah.
It's very important for the federal government to do that.
Yes. Is there any other headlines you'd like to talk to us about?
There are no other headlines. I
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Victor. That's all we'll be taking today. Thank you for making it here once more.
Thank you very much for having me.
And to our viewers, we thank you very much for staying up to this time. That's all the conversation we'll be having. But you can continue this conversation by dropping your comments and your reactions on the comment section on any of our social media platforms. We'll be glad to hear from you. Till next time I come your way again, my name is William Sabule, and this has been the Newspaper Review.